Afternoon and welcome back to the channel. Today's job, we've got 90 in workshop on lift, so we're going to be wrestling with some bushes today. So we've had this come through post. This is where it all begins. But our postman loves us. So there we have it. Them bits are for another job. We'll not worry about them at the minute. So this is the main bit, what we're looking at today. Make some space over there. So this is the main thing, Super Pro bush kit. We've used these for quite a while, never had any problems with them. Really good quality, do a really good job. Now there's plenty of bush kits on market and they all do slightly different things, but Super Pro, we can't knock them. What a lot of people do is buy a kit and they do bits and bobs as they need them, as the bushes wear out, which is fine because you've always got them on stock then. The problem is with that, you never see a full transformation through bushes. So if you do bits here and there, you never get the full benefits of it. So it's hard, it's not a nice job, but you just need to bite bullet, buy a kit, get it all done in one go, and you'll really see difference. And then obviously all your bushes are wearing out together, so you haven't got one that's a bit more worn and getting ready and spoiling the rest of the kit what you've bought. So it's always a good idea to buy a kit, bite bullet, get it fitted. So this is what we've got. Super Pro, they always come in nice little bags as well, so you know exactly what you've got for what bushes, or for what parts I should say. Lifetime warranty. There we slip front to rear trailing arm. So right, yeah, we'll start stripping some bits off at truck and see how far we can get. Right, so we're going to start at the beginning. First thing, panhard rod. So we're going to get that off and get our bushes pressed out. So a couple of spanners. You don't have to start here, but I like to start at front and work my way back. What I've done with these is gone around everything first, wire brushed everything, and put some WD-40 on all bolts so you get a bit better chance of them coming out. I like to leave bolts in until you've got it completely off, so you're not pulling anything out and it's gonna hit you on the head or something like that. Grab a 21 spanner, 24, sorry. This one's a bit fiddly because it's actually in a recess in axle, so bit harder work to get on the nut. This truck, obviously it's R90, so it's a 2016, it's a pretty late truck, and there's not tons of corrosion underneath, which is gonna benefit you. It's gonna make job quicker. So bear in mind, if you've got a truck that's older or a bit crispier underneath, you're gonna be battling more with seized up bolts, etc. So as I said, leave bolts in where they sit until you've got everything loose, so you can grab hold in it and pull bolts out. So if you pull a bolt out and then slank the other end off, it can come and crack you on the head. So get them out, pull that out, easy as that. So obviously we're going to be pressing these old bushes out. Get rid of them, and we'll clean parts up a bit before they go back on, and get some shiny new bushes in. So we've got these pressed out. You can burn them out if they're really seized in, but pressing, if you've got a press or got access to a press, that's usually the easiest way of getting them out and cleanest. So all we're going to do is go and clean this up a little bit, ready for new bushes to go in. So you can go to trouble of having them shot blasted and powder coated before you put them back together, but we're just going to give them a quick wire brush and clean up. Bit of WD-40. Just so you're basically not thrashing bushes into a greasy old bar, really. So before you put new bushes in, if you press these out, then they should be fairly nice and clean. So again, a bit of WD-40, sandpaper, coarse as you like. Give it a good old clean up. So sometimes with these, if you're knocking them out, or if one's been a bit stubborn in press, you'll get bears on inside or on edges or something like that. So just get a file and nip around and fetch sharp bits off, really, just to make your life easier. So, and bush will sit nicer in there. So you don't spend too much time with them, don't make a career out of it, just clean them up a little bit. Right, over to the bench. So we're looking for lower arm to diff, that's not it. Upper arms, radius arm, panhard rod. So like I said, everything's marked up. Every packet comes with a little sachet of grease as well, which is nice. So we'll open these ones up. It's really warm in here as well today. It's getting on for 30 degrees outside, so in here I dread to think what it's like. So this is what we've got. Everything's all really nicely made with these. Everything fits as well. So they give you way too much grease, really. But better to have too much than not enough. So we'll get these in. So get some grease coated up in there, and then easy as that, one in that side, one in opposite side. Make sure they're nice and flush. Bit more grease. Sat in there, and then insert. Now sometimes they'll slot in, sometimes you have to press them in with vice, which I think we'll have to do with this one, yeah. It's easier if you've got somebody to out other end, but otherwise just struggle really, and you'll get there in end. Nice and gentle until it's in. Voila. That's the other thing as well with these bushes over like a genuine bush. Obviously a genuine bush you'd have to press that in. So if you're out somewhere, middle of nowhere, you take some spare bushes or you need to rebush these, then they're easy to get out. A damn sight easier to put back in. So same again. Get some grease in there. Another couple of bushes. So the trick is with these getting everything lined up. So the quicker you get everything lined up, the quicker it'll go together. So I say if you have somebody helping you, it's a little bit easier. Grease on them. So that's basically it. One rebushed panhard rod. I'll get that back in now. So what I'm going to do to build these back up, bit of copper slip. So if you have to have it in bits again in future, it's going to make your life a whole lot easier. So get that in there. Bit of a wiggle. One down. Go to the other side now, same again. Bit of a tapping stick, I think. Where are we? So they're never ever going to go perfect. There's always going to be something that you've got to prise, knock, hammer, wrestle. They never just slot back together. So be prepared for a struggle. As with most things on a Defender. I know it's a bit loud, but I'm going to cheat. Makes life so much easier, especially when it's as warm as it is today. That's that. That's one down and a lot more to go, so let's crack on. Right, next job. Radius arms. These are a bit heavier, a bit meatier. So we've got to take the track bar off. To get track bar off, we've got to take this diff guard off. So we're replacing these steering bars, so we're not going to be too precious about these, but we'll show you it crack with them in another video. But usually you might have a bit of drama getting these split pins out. Like I say, we're not going to be too precious with these, but sometimes you have to either just snap them off and then drill them out, replace ends, but you can have a bit of drama with them, so bear that in mind if you're taking it to pieces. So we'll start by taking diff guard off. that out of the way so we can see his track bar now. I've had these off recently, so obviously it pins the nice and free and they will come out, but like I say, usually you can get in a bit of a pickle with them. I'll get a hammer for them. Where's my hammer gone? Somebody's robbed it. Oh no, it's there. It's in front of my eyes. Right. Obviously, never tap thread on these. So if you get casting a good thrash, they should come to pieces. Just like that. One side, and then other. So that bit, that's end of life for that one. Not me using that again. So pull these tar wraps off. Usually you have a breather other side, which will be tar wrapped onto this. So snap them off. This one, obviously, that's for air locker airline. It's running at the same place, so obviously we'll have to tar up that back up after. So we need a 21 and a 24. I've missed that one with WD-40, so we'll get that one now. We've got one here, 21. On older vehicles, these bolts can actually seize in to inner on bush, which if that happens, it's a bit of a nightmare. So you have to cut the outsides of the trailing arm here, cut the outsides to obviously cut through bolt, press your bush out, and then replace your bolt when you've done, which is not ideal. But again, if you are working on an older vehicle or a crustier vehicle, bear that in mind, because you may need to just buy new bolts while you're doing it to make life easier. We've got a Defender as well. You save an absolute fortune on gym memberships, because it's just, I mean, yeah, what a workout. And of course, if you've got a gym membership, you're too tired to use it by the time you've done wrestling with your defender anyway. It's a win-win. So we're on to the back end at bolt now, bob under the lift lower and come round here. You'll see it's a bit better. So we're pulling this one off. Wire brushed it earlier, put some WD-40 on it, but a bit more, never hurts. Just like that. Save them, you'll need them for later. So as before, like I said, leave bolts in because you don't want to be taking stuff out and that hitting you on the head because it hurts. I've been there. So get a bit of a pry bar. One. You always get one that gives you a bit of grief. Oh. Like so. There it is. So give that a bit of a prize. Just like that. That's that one. Right. So now we've got this pretty much same process. Obviously, that's how they live. In there, all this will clean all that up. Get rid of them old bushes. So we've got these pressed out. Crack on with cleaning this up a little bit and get new bushes in. So as before, pull that old bush off there. Get rid of that. So, as before, we'll get a bit of WD-40 on that. Like I say, some people go to extent to having these shot blasted and painted or even powder coated. We have had them galvanised before in past for customers, which is all fine if you want to go that far. But if you're not, then if you're just cleaning them up a bit like this, then it's good preparation if you're lana guarding or wax oil in future. Makes your life a bit easier and you can get around them a bit better while they're at this stage. This stuff's really, it's really heavy. I think it's like 750 grit, something like that. You don't like catching your fingers with it, put it that way. Same again with the other side now as we did before. We get some WD-40 in them and get them cleaned up. As you can see, I'm never sparing with WD-40. Some people say I use too much, but hey ho. Better be that way than other way, I reckon. So, right, we'll get some new bushes out. Right, this is obviously the new setup. That's roughly where they're going radius arm. So that is the old bush. As you can see, steel out, a bit of rubber and then a steel inner. So with that's obviously a difference. So we'll get these greased up and get them in radius arm. Actually, I've still got a packet of grease open somewhere. See if we can find that. Yes, there we are. So rule of thumb with this, anywhere that rubber touches steel, get a bit of grease on it. Ah. That washers fell off. So this is ideally where you need an LP helper, but we ain't got one today, so we're struggling. So get that lined up there. something like that. One thing quite easy that, they don't usually do that first shot. Is it gonna go? There it is. A bit more grease. It's really not one of them jobs that you want to be wearing your best cream chinos and your best going out shirt, because it's not going to be much good bit end of it. Overalls is best bet, but who wants overalls on in 30 degrees? So that's them's and then. Might just want to tap that across a bit. As you can see, you've got one side that's raised there, other side's flush where it's been put in vise. So just even them up a little bit. Like that. Then we'll go for these. So as you can see, them two are slightly different, do the same job but slightly different. The one with the groove, which is a different part number, that goes at the back of the chassis. So not all polybush kits do that, but these are different, so just bear that in mind. So obviously that one goes in there, then once it's in chassis, that one goes behind it, then nut and washer back on there. So we'll put a bit of grease around there as well, where that bit of rubber is obviously going to touch the chassis. Again, don't be shy with grease, because for what it's worth, it'll only come back and bite you. I'll put that up there. Where's my rag gun? So this is where, if anywhere, where messing about is going to come in. Because when you remove this, obviously your axle is going to move slightly, so they don't always drop back, they very rarely drop back in one go. But what we'll do is we'll get a wire brush, we'll clean these points up where it's going to touch, and we'll get an adjustable spanner just to flex these out a little bit, just to give us a bit more wiggle room. Again, don't think you've got to get it like brand new. It's just to get crud off. Cleaner the better, but don't make it your full-time job. So we've got these plates and just gonna slightly, very slightly, bend them out, just so it gives a bit of room to go back in. If you bend these too far out, then obviously when your bolt goes through, it'll tighten everything up, because your bolt will be pointed in the wrong direction. So you only need a bit. Bit of copper grease. That's that. So what we'll do, we're going to get all this ready to drop on. So we'll thread that through back chassis. Come around here, Laura. So, like I say, again, this is easier if you've got a couple of you. If you can't get the washer on, you can just put nut on there to retain everything, but it's gone on, so we'll get that there. That's holding up now. So as you can see, as I'm trying to shove this back, it's rolling wheel forward because it's dropped back a bit, so you can shove on tyre a little bit. So that's seated now ish. There it is. Stay. Yeah, and bolts greasy. Now what I'd recommend is like something like, where is it? Something like one of these boys. So you can get that in and just fattle up to get your bolt lined up. Like that, then it slips out. Come on, Laura, I'm sure you can hold that and out camera and all. Hold that in there. Hold it there. I'll pull on it a bit. A bit more. Bit more.
I'm pulling.
No, it's not having it.
I'm sorry.
Can't you multitask?
Yes, very well.
Right, we'll drop that one in front back. Just hold it there. So we can get this one in and then we can pull that one out and put it proper way round. So sometimes when you're doing these it's just about trial and error. There's no exact science to it, you just have to have a go and keep thrashing till it lines up. Come on, you pig. There it is, tells you we get there and get tapping stick. I don't go wailing on these, but just a bit of a tap and then they still don't go through. I'll try and get this one in. Can't get this back out now.
There it is.
One down, one to go. And we have a winner, ladies and gentlemen. Right, so that's that. We can start tightening everything back up now. If you're using a long bracket like this, then I suggest you just grab a shorter one to whip everything up. Makes life a bit easier. So now, obviously, we can nip that one back up. I'm sure there'll be a torque setting for that somewhere, but if you want to look online and find it, crack on. But about 2 ugger-duggers, that's about enough. So we'll grab some tar wraps, tar wrap that one back on before we forget about it. No, blade. Where's my blade gone, Laura? Have you nicked my blade? No, it's here. So that's about it, really. That's one side. So it's basically same process on the other side. We'll crack on. Right, so that's them done. 2 front radius arms, rebushed, refitted. So now we're going to move on to the back end. So next on agenda, rear trailing arms. So we're going to pull these off. Obviously you can keep these and rebush them. I'm not going to. I've got some heavy duty cranked rear trailing arms for this. They're not new, it's some that we've revived and I've just given them a coat of black paint. So they'll do the same job. So purely because we've got about an inch lift on this truck, you can see angle they're running at there. The more lift you put, the harder that angle is going to be. So we've got some heavy duty crank ones, so we may as well use them. Plus, in the past off-road, we have bent these, we have ripped them apart. So if you off-road, then especially if you're running lockers as well, it can put more pressure on them because obviously you've got a lot more traction. So like I say, because we've got them, I'm going to use them. So we'll get these ripped off. Be aware when you're removing these as well, the bolts can seize in, so it can be a pain. If your truck's getting on a bit or it's crusty underneath, you know, it might be a good idea if you're doing this, especially on a weekend or something like that. If you're doing it, just buy new bolts because they're not a fortune. Plus, it will benefit you in the long run. So that's that one out there. We'll get rid of that. That goes in scrap bin. So just left to pull this bush off now. It's always last one that fights you to death. Hey up. It bit me. So that's one bush removed. So we're going to get a new arm built up. So got old stuff stripped off. This is a new one, or replacement should I say. Just giving it a quick blast over with black paint so we can get some new bushes in it. Make sure everything's same that you've got. Upper arm to chassis. No, not them. Don't want them yet. Lower arm to diff mount. That's better. Super Pro stuff. It does come with instructions as well where needed. Like a bit of space here. Just like we did with panhard rod bushes, one in either side. Give them a bit of a rattle on bench, something like that. Get that in vice now. Oh, we've got a wasp following me. It's not good. Really is attacking me now. Probably don't like what I'm doing. Just like that. So that's that end. We'll move over to other end now. Some grease. So it's going to be a washer. A bush, they see same either way, so now insert. Then a bush. Then another washer, and we'll use as existing nut that we've took off. So we can get this one on truck now. Copper grease around thread. Original nut and washer. There, that goes back on. Get them back on there. So these three smaller studs, we'll get a bit around them. This is a job that you can tattle on floor. It's harder work, but you can tattle it on floor. as you can see, although I've got this on lift, I'm not jacking anything up, so it's all on ground level, and that way it's a lot easier because your axles and everything, they're staying where they are. So if you start jacking things up and moving things around, if you took this off, this rear trail arm off, when you've got a jack under the back axle, that could be bad, real bad, because obviously it can slip and move and all sorts of things. So you need it on flat ground. Obviously when you're doing out underneath any vehicle, you want to make sure it's well choked up, but nevertheless, flat ground, make sure it can't roll anywhere, and you can start pulling bits off. And then all you need to do, as we've done with others, is just get a bit of a wiggle and a prise to get everything lined back up. So yeah, you could be doing it on the floor, laid on your back. It's a bit hard work, but it can be done. So, you know, if you've got some big spanners and quite a bit of gumption, you need quite a bit of gumption to do it, then don't be scared, have a crack. Same again with these back ones. You can just get your adjustable spanner and just give them a tweak. Get that lined up. I put that main nut on there, but it's loose, it's not nipped up, so just make sure you start it, and it'll save you some grief when you come to putting it back on. It's already in place. I think we'll be able to get nut runner in just to wind them up. So they don't have to be mega tight. It's the only, what are they, about M10 bolts, them, something like that. That's that one. Couple of ugger-duggers on that one. We can go ahead and tighten this back one up. Obviously it's a lot quicker when you're using new arms or replacement arms because you haven't got to press any old bushings out. Job's a good one. We'll crack on with the other side. Now we've got them back in, they all done. Last one, it's A-frame bushing. Last but certainly not least, this is the one on the whole job that I dread the most really, because they can be problematic to get them down, but we'll get a fair old crack. As well as that, we've got to take centre box exhaust out to get at the passenger side one. I say you've got to take it out. You probably haven't got to take it out, but it makes life a lot easier if you do take it out. So we'll crack on with getting that off. As you can see up here, if you come in close with these, Laura, there's no way that they're ever going to come off. So I'm not even going to try. I'm just going to cut them off and deal with them after. Back ones, they've been off not too long ago. It's had nuts and bolts put in, so they'll come off. So all I'm going to do is get some glasses on, of course. Bit of light on job. Where's my hammer gone? So we'll get a bit of a thrash. Just to get some crud off, and then we'll get these cut off. We're a bit hope that should separate when we get back end off, so we'll crack on with undoing that. That's like that. Get some WD on exhaust rubbers. Pry bar. We'll soon have emptied toolbox with tools. Crikey, that's rusty. Probably a good job we're taking this off, actually. Look at that. I think that alive exhaust is going to have to come sooner rather than later. So as you can see now up here, we can get to these A-frame bolts. So out with WD again. Some on them. Some on them there. If your fulcrum joint up here, if that's getting ready for replacing, or your rubber gate is split, while you're doing this, it's handy to take it all off together and replace that at the same time. But that one's fine, so I'm not going to bother undoing it there. There's a big nut at back at axle, so all I'm going to do is pull these 2 bolts out, pull top 2 out and split it all. So get them tie wraps off there. Right. Where's my 24 gone? 24. Oh, they captivated these. Got a captivation plate on. That's nice, isn't it? So I'm going to leave that one in there, just like that, to stop it falling on us bonds. Size of them, 15, what was that? The spanner's gone, losing on your spanners. That side's 15, 17 or 19, 19. I think that one of them. Coming back, I promise. I'm not left. So as you could probably see then, when I loosen these off, they're a bit of tension, everything flakes. So you might just have to either pull down a bit or lift up on to nose at diff, just to get them all lined back up. So that's one. Yep, I've still got a tire up there. That's two. So like I say, it's a good time to inspect this joint, make sure you've got no cracking in rubber, because that's an MOT failure, and there's no play in that, which you probably won't feel it just by grabbing out on it. It'd have to be rarely worn, but when you're driving truck you will feel it. You'll get a knocking on the back end, but as long as it's alright, you can do it this way, pull 2 bolts out. It's easier than messing about with it not behind there. So we'll get this bush pressed out. Bushes are out, same again. We'll wire brush these up, get new bushes in. look a bit tidier. We get them in vice and get inserts to clean up, ready for new bushes to go in. If you look closely down on these edges, you'll see one edge is sharper than the other edge. So you see that, you should be able to see it on camera. You've got a bit of an edge. So it's that way that you want to be pressing your bush in, because it just guards it in a little bit better. Last bag. Upper arm to chassis. Make sure it doesn't roll away. Again, bit of instruction in that. But if you're a bloke and doing this, you're not going to read that anyway, are you? So we don't read instructions. It's half at fun, isn't it? Figuring it out. So this is my chamfered edge. Ooh. This one is going to be the pain. What did I say? Chamfered edge. Lets it go in a bit better.
It's easier. Just lining it up there.
As you can see, it doesn't matter how many times you've done these, you still get one that causes you issues. There we have it. We got there in end. One, two, three times. Who's counting? Put some more grease in it. Coming back. I'm blaming it on not having a helper for this. So everybody's busy again. I sometimes think they're just avoiding me on these jobs. Put that one down there. Yes. So that's what we're left with. That's result. I'll give them a bit of a clean up to get excess grease off them. Right, so we'll go under there and prepare for these going back in. Right, so we're back under here. We'll get these cleaned up where it's going to sit, greased up, and get it back in. Like I said, I always dread doing these. I think it's probably just because I've had some bad experiences with them. But I don't want to speak too soon, but this one's been pretty uneventful up to yet. Give that a wide brush while we're here. These cross members up here, they are a commonplace for rust, so bear that in mind. Right, copper grease. Where's my copper grease gone? Here we are. Oil and grease is the cheapest form of maintenance, and it's true, especially when you're working on Defenders. So that's them. Let's get some grease around these actually while we're doing it. If you've got an helper, then it's a good job for them to do this while they're just hanging about. Save you a bit of time. Right then, we'll get one of them arms. So we're going to start off by putting one bolt through. So line that back up. Stay. So just put them nuts on there loose. So this is where hard work comes in, because obviously, as you can see there, we're about a full hole off. If you look in there, we're a full hole off. So to get that squared back up, what you need to do is you need to lift the nose of the diff so your fulcrum bush rolls back and into position. So if you've got a couple on it, you might be able to sprottle it round and shove it and prise it and do to get it back in line. But because I'm doing this on my own, what I'm going to do is get a jack stand. If you're doing this on floor, you could just get a trolley jack under the nose at diff just to pull it back. But I'm going to get a jack stand in so we can hold it in the right place while we put bolts in. I've got jack stand in place ready now, so we'll start winding this up. So if you can see around there, so that's where it's sat. So as you can see, we're like nearly a full hole out. So as I lift the diff pinion up, as I'm winding this up, you can see back in here, it's pulling that back into place. There we have it. So then, get your bolt. And it don't go through. Just like that. We'll get the other one in first actually. Leave that one chilling there for a minute. Where's my other bolt? So that one, that needs coming back a little bit. So I've dropped that one back. Line him up. That one fell in now. There we have it. Easy as that. So now I can lock this back down. Get that out of the way, we've done with that. So I can put these keep plates back on with nuts. I have to wind that back out a bit. Fiddly little baggers these. One down. Couple of ugger-duggers. And I will nip them up with ratchet after. And we'll get 15 back on there. That is actually 18. It's not a 19, it's an 18. So that's about that, really. We'll put exhaust back on now. So I'm not going to be too precious about cleaning this one up and stuff, because it's not going to be here forever. Now these studs, they're obviously captivated. See captivation at back there. So what we're going to do with them is we're just going to cut a slither with grinded outside, and then they should just knock out and we can put nuts and bolts in. So I'll go get grinder. Grab wire brush. I'm not saying that this is going to be a permanent solution for you if your exhaust's in this sort of state, but like I say, if you're planning on replacing it in the near future, then it'll get you going again. You see where that's been blowing as well. Right, we'll get this back on truck. They're a bit long these, but that's all we've got left in bolt box, so gotta have it, and we'll just chop them off. We'll get them in there like that. Wash your nut. Put these back ones back in now. Better. We'll have a 17 on nut runner, make things a bit quicker. think that is about it. Just got them tar wraps to put back on A-frame for the axle breather and air locker, so we can get them done. But yeah, I think that concludes it. So as you can see, it can be done. It's heavy work, it's not nice work, but it makes a difference, and if you can do it all in one go, you'll really feel the difference in, you know, some good quality bushes. So it is doable at home, it's doable on your drive if you've got right tools to do it. But of course, if you don't feel like doing it, then you can always get in touch with us, give us a call, drop us an email, and we can quote you up for it. Hope you've enjoyed watching. Give us a like and subscribe on YouTube if that's where you're watching. And we'll see you next time.